Okay, welcome back everyone. There's a lot of clones around Dolly the Sheep, Star Wars and outdoor gear. We've all seen the brass copies of the Trangia with their different simmering, and I've even seen an actual complete copy of a Trangia triangle on AliExpress. Didn't buy it, I don't need it, and to tell you the truth, I'm too much of a Trangia fan to allow that sort of thing. But I did sink and go against my own advice and pick up a clone of an X-boil setup. Now obviously with the X-boil, you usually choose it according to the mug that you're using. This one here is a Toke setup, and it's the, I think it's the 750, I can't remember. I have a cloth in it, a handy little gripper. It comes with the X-boil bottle, and of course the X-boil burner with its supports. And the X-boil also comes with titanium tent pegs that you can use as supports as well. And here we have it. As you can see, we have the holes for tent pegs if we need to put them through. Just make sure we have this in right. There we go. So we can put these through and use them as supports for the mug, or we can clip on these easily lost supports, which holds the mug very well. And the X-boil burner with its layers of carbon felt that can be removed so that you can use it as a gel burner or Esbit burner as well. The only thing missing from this is that you don't actually get anything that you could use to simmer, but you can put a coin in the middle and that will help to reduce the flame and let it simmer. And we'll just get these out of the way. So, as you can see, it's branded X-boil on the side. One side has no holes and the other side has air holes. So it's a windscreen pot stand. And they work very well. I usually just keep this in here. Yeah, it's going to get a bit discoloured or rusty, but the little finger bit just means that they sit in quite well. And everything fits back into the pot. So we'll just move this out of the way. And this is the clone. Now, I didn't get a Toke's pot to go with it. Instead, I have Atiap titanium 750mm. Basically the same size, same width as the Toke's. Now this is what came with it. 1, 2, 3, 4 fuel bottles, which is a bit of overkill, but never mind. That's my own gripper. So we'll just put that aside. and my own cloth. A burner with the same, or rather similar setup to the X-boil. This did not come with any tent pegs. And like the X-boil, you can remove the carbon felt, but it's a smaller sized. It's a little bit smaller than the X-boil burner. Unlike the X-boil, this comes with a simmer ring, which fits over the top and allows you to simmer it. Now, if I was using this, the X-boil bottle is a lot sturdier, and I would trust that in the pot. It wouldn't taint and leak and taint my food. These are, I don't know how good they would be. Unless if it was only for a one night, yeah, I would be taking this and that would be enough. But usually I would take my Trangia bottle. And it was pointed out to me in a comment that Trangia have now brought out a little 100ml bottle with the Trangia branding on it. So that might be interesting for you. Now let's have a look at the actual windshield. Now what I've noticed is it's very tough and it's quite difficult to get out. Now let's move this out of the way just for a minute. So no branding, it just says quantized space. It's QS90-100. As you can see, it's covered with fingerprints. And if we compare it to the X-boil, it's almost a complete copy. In fact, it is. It's a complete rip-off copy. I don't know how they can get away with this, taking somebody else's design. Now the difference is, look at that. It's lovely, flexible and light. This is not as flexible. It's thicker and not as light. I prefer the X-boil just because I can get it in and out of the pot easily. So we'll just put this back together. And we'll put this one together. Yeah. Same size, same height, same holes in here for the tent pegs if you need them. Let's compare the pot stands. The X-boil ones are smaller. And they probably fit in a bit better than these. There we go. Now this was sold in different sizes. X-boil sell theirs to specific pot sizes. This one just gave you a range to buy, so you could just choose yourself basically. I'll just put it all back together. We shall leave off the simmer ring because I want to weigh them and just see how similar they are without accessories. Okay, first of all, X-boil and one bottle, and the burner 52 grams. The copy burner and one bottle, 66 grams. It's heavier. I knew it was going to be because of this. Now the Tokes pot with nothing in it, 100 grams. And this Atiat pot, 124. What I will say is that you will make huge savings with this clone. I think, if I remember rightly, this was 20 euros, and I think this without the pot, and I think this one without the pot was in the region of 45, about double the price, but the quality is much better. This is a bit sharper around the edges. It hasn't been finished as well as the X-boil has. Now, I don't know if these are made in the same factory. I do know that X-boil is German. What I have here is the ultralight version, so it's the 90-100, and this is supposedly 90-100 as well. But let's just have a quick look at the windshield weights. 28 grams, 37 grams. You get what you pay for at the end of the day. Now, the thing I do like about this is this simmer ring, but to tell you the truth, I've got tops. I can Dremel a hole in a top and put it on one of these and it would work the same way. So, and I'm not really going to be simmering on an X-boil. I'm just going to be boiling water. That's what it's for. And talking of boiling water, let's just get rid of these bottles out of the way. We're going to do a test using each burner. We'll start off with the X-boil. Okay everyone, I've got 20 mils of fuel here, more than enough. Now some people can keep it on its lid if you need to keep it away from snow or anything. I use a little silicone pad, others use aluminium foil, and you just lift that over. So we're just going to pour in the 20 mils, let it soak. Should be enough 20 mils. I have 300 mils of fresh water in the Tokes. I think this is 30 mils, this bottle, I'm not sure. So all we have to do is give it a light, and well, before we do anything else, we'll get the stopwatch done. So, and we'll see how long it takes to boil. $6:20 when I stopped the clock. I better use my good hand because otherwise I will end up hurting myself. And to put it out. Some good gusts of breath. You could use this. There's no seal in it, but all I do is that. Okay, so we'll let this cool down. We'll get some more water and then we'll test the clone system. So we have another 20 mils of fuel. We'll just let that soak in there. Move over the copy. We have 300 mils of water. Just let that light up and we'll start. Yeah, as you can see, the flames are licking right up the side of the pot on both sides and near the handle, which is okay. I wouldn't really want that, but the bigger burner on the clone seems to be working better. There you go, folks, rolling boil in 528. So it's faster than the X-boil, the burner is. That's to be expected though, it's also a heavier burner. As we can see. Now let's try and snuff it out with a quick couple of puffs. And it doesn't let you. So there we have it, folks. The slightly larger burner and deeper. There's more felt in this. This was a more powerful burner. The flames were licking up the side of the titanium mug, which could cause problems if you're trying to remove it. And as we saw, this is the first pucked style stove that I've never been able to blow out. I had to use the lid to put it out, which is fine as there's no seal on it. The X-boil took about a minute longer to boil the same amount of water. That's down to the burner size. If I put a wicker burner, which is even bigger, in this, it would be a lot quicker as well. That's personal preference, which one you prefer. Personally, out of all of these, I would prefer and have used mainly my Speedster burner. But what we'll do in the future is we'll have a comparison between the X-boil clone, the wicker burner, the Speedster burner, and maybe 2 homemade burners, all of the same style, just to see how they all perform. I actually prefer the X-boil burner. It's more gentle. I'm not really bothered about the speed. I like the fact that it's not as ferocious. I have a rotated finger in this hand. It's a bit difficult to grab things, etc. So I have to use my left hand a lot, and that can give me problems. I could put some silicone rubber on the handles of these, because I noticed that both this and the Tokes, even though they're titanium, the handles did heat up very much. And this one especially, because the flames were licking up the side of the handle. I don't really like doing that, as they do degrade over time with the heat, especially in direct flame. I prefer using a little grabber or a cloth, or maybe, as some people have suggested, I should start carrying a pair of lightweight leather work gloves. I could take my old motorcycle gloves. they'd handle it. And I'm not using them on a bike anymore. Now, what do I think about this system? I mean, they're both basically the same system. This pot stands, yeah, they'll fit in there. Remember, alcohol has got a bit of water in it and they will discolour. They shouldn't rust. I believe that these are stainless steel. I don't know about the copies. They're very easy to lose. You're out there in the grass, in the heather, you're a bit clumsy like me, you could end up losing one of these. The thing I do like about this one, is it cool down? Yes. Is it has its little simmer ring that fits on the bottom. But I have cans the same size as this. I could quite easily Dremel a hole and it would fit on the bottom if I need a simmer ring for my X-boil. There are ones on sale anyway, so I could get one, I could make one, it doesn't really matter. Weight, big difference in the weights, which is strange. It's supposed to be the same metal. Yes, this burner is a bit bigger, but obviously the components, everything adds up. And this is the Ultralight. It is a springier, more compressible metal. It fits into the pot easier and is easier to get out. The bottles, yeah, well, the X-boil bottles are more secure in my opinion. Personally, if I'm going to carry a little bottle like this, I'd rather have a little Nalgene. These are fine for packing salt or something like that. I wouldn't really trust these for fuel. They're too compressible and yeah, air's coming out. So if you compress it and air's coming out, then your fuel will come out. And there's nothing worse than getting some bioethanol in your cooking pot. It really doesn't taste very nice. Now, as I was mentioning about these being easily lost, yeah, on a day trip that could be a bit bad. But if you're on a multi-day hike, you're carrying your tent, you probably have a couple of these titanium shepherd's hooks as spares, just in case. And we'll just show you how that goes. They just fit in, so if you just ignore these, they sit at the same height and support the pot. You can leave these at home if you're taking your tent and you have these. The X-boil actually comes with two. I don't know where they are. I don't know if these are the ones it comes with. These I just pulled out of a spare tent peg bag. And of course, this one being a complete copy also allows you to do that. As you can see. Now, which one should I recommend? I'm not recommending any of them to you, to tell you the truth. I don't really appreciate actual blatant copies of other people's work. And I think this is a blatant copy. I'd rather give my money to the guys from X-boil who developed this than save 15, 20 euros to buy this, which is heavier, and is a blatant rip-off. But that's up to you. I'll probably keep this as a spare part. And if I want to, I'll use the X-boil. The other one I want to get, it's the Vesuve, which is a copy of a Stormin Norman. Well, he's not around anymore, and sadly to say. But yeah, we'll probably give the Vesuve a try when I get some money and see how that works. Sorry about that, the camera overheated because of the heat wave that we're having, and the fact that we were using 2 stoves. I've gone through what I like, and one of the things that I don't really like about this system, I do have a similar setup now with my Speedster puck stove using the mesh pot stand that I showed in a video quite a few months back. I might show you that working when we do the comparison video with everything else. And until then, folks, we shall put everything back together. As we can see, put the cloth in, stops it rattling, put the bottle in, and in fact we'll put this one in here. I prefer that one. And that's the toques. And then this one, which is a bit bendier. In fact, we'll do it this way. See if we can fit it in. Yeah. Cloth in. Burn it. Bottle. And there we have them. Let me know what you think. Which one do you prefer? Is it cost over originality? Who knows? Until the next time, bye bye.